WWE 2K24 is one of the highest rated WWE 2K games to date, with many believing it to be a step in the right direction. And with 2K25 currently running wild, I figured it was time to finally put this game to bed for good. Better late than never, ain't that right, chat? Hello? Okay. There's 63 trophies in WWE 2K24, including the Platinum, and much like WWE 2K23's Platinum, the trophies are divided across the game's numerous modes, like My Rise, My GM, Universe, Showcase, and of course everyone's favorite, My Faction, which contains the single worst trophy in gaming history, and made this Platinum take like 3 times longer than it needed to. So without further ado, grab your gear, lace up them boots, and let's rock. First on the agenda is Showcase mode, which accounts for 6 of the game's trophies. Now, this mode lets players relive moments from different eras in WWE history, and this year's theme was 40 years of WrestleMania. 22 matches need to be completed along with all of their individual objectives. So if you miss an objective, you need to start the whole match over. Sick. Our very first matchup is Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage from WrestleMania 3, which is widely considered to be one of the best Intercontinental Championship matches of all time. And this match is actually going to net us not 1, but 3 trophies. Completing any match objective gives us where it all begins again. Winning the match unlocks bigger, better, better. That one. And completing all objectives in one match rewards us with What the World is Watching. A quick 3-piece, only 1 match in. We take those. Now, consequently, the other 3 showcase trophies unlock after the final match of the showcase. So after fighting through every match, completing every objective, you're tossed into a 30-man Royal Rumble match against literally the biggest legends in WWE history. Successfully eliminating 10 or more participants and winning the Rumble unlocks the Raging Climax trophy for becoming the WrestleMania champion. You also get All Grown Up for completing every match of the showcase and the Ultimate Challenge for completing every objective. Showcase done. Thanks for coming. Universe mode is up next, which contains 5 very easy trophies of its own. Universe is like one of the flagship modes of the 2K series. It lets you create shows and book matches and create your own personal WWE experience. And a big part of that is creating rivalries between superstars, right? Take our epic rivalry here between the Great Muta and Wolfgang, for example, one of the greater rivalries of our generation, from what I've heard. So just creating the rivalry from the Superstar menu unlocks the Trailblazer trophy, and forcing the 2 into a brawl via the rivalry actions unlocks the Square Up trophy. Now in Universe, the longer a rivalry goes, the more momentum it gains, and you can use that momentum to unlock specific actions within your rivalry, right? And spending 50 momentum on a rivalry got us the On a Roll trophy. Now eventually a rivalry will get so heated that a loser leaves town match must be called upon to settle the score once and for all, and winning that match in Universe gives us the trophy Get Lost. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Our final Universe trophy requires us to successfully cash in a Money in the Bank contract, and pulling off the ultimate heist rewards us with Cash In Ringer. 2 modes, 11 trophies down. We're cooking. Well, we were cooking because now it's My Faction time. Sorry. For those who don't know, My Faction is an online mode where you fight other players, play through different towers, and you open card packs to obtain new cards. If you've played really any sports game, Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, you've seen modes like this before, really nothing new here. My Faction's 13 trophies, however, require a pretty lengthy grind, one that will have you questioning not only your sanity, but your life choices, including a trophy that takes up to 3 months to unlock. 3 months. So 2K24's My Faction features a ranked play mode, right? Where players face off online, all different match types, climb up the leaderboard, rank up along the way, etc., etc. One of the My Faction trophies is tied to that ranked mode called Rise Through the Ranks. Earned a leaderboard reward from a ranked play season. That doesn't sound too hard. The problem is, each ranked play season is 90 days, and you don't get the trophy until the season is over. So depending on when you start your trophy grind, if you so choose to go for it, this could very much affect how long it takes. So even though I completed my qualifying matches, which were super difficult, we still have to wait weeks for the trophy to unlock. Hence this video taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. I digress. So while we patiently wait for our ranked trophy, My Faction has 12 more trophies still to unlock, so buckle up. The first few trophies aren't terrible. Taste of Victory unlocks after winning your first match in any My Faction mode. Completing a lifetime challenge, such as opening a certain number of packs or earning medals, gives us a promising start, and completing 15 of those lifetime challenges unlocks Journey of a Lifetime. So we're already rolling a little bit here. You can also earn packs and rewards just by logging into My Faction once a day, and doing so 5 days in a row got us loyalty confirmed. See, now you're probably starting to feel a little better about My Faction. You got some trophies in the bag, you're cruising along. Ha! That's how they get you. My Faction has its own subset of modes. There's weekly towers, proving grounds, live events, and faction wars. And each of these modes all have trophies of their own. Why? Don't ask me. I don't know. Let's start with Proving Grounds. Now, this mode is divided into towers that each contain matches that you need to complete, and then those towers are split amongst multiple chapters. You know what I'm saying? So completing your first tower will unlock a good start, and completing an entire chapter unlocks chapter and verse. I also noticed that these trophies have the exact same names as the ones in 2K23. And I don't like that very much. But speaking of towers, every week 2K would add a new weekly tower to My Faction containing 5 matches, and completing one of those towers gets us weekly winner. Daily challenges are also back again, and they're generally very easy, like win a match, land 10 attacks, etc. Completing your first ever daily challenge will give us daily progress, and completing all 3 daily challenges in a single day earns us champion for a day. On top of their normal challenges, My Faction also has intro challenges, which basically just introduce you to all the different modes. And once we bang out all 7 intro challenges, we unlock the Beginner's Luck Trophy. You know, looking back over these after I did them, they sound pretty easy to do, but don't fall for the propaganda. All right. Now, live events are another interesting part of My Faction. These require you to have specific cards in your collection in order to compete in certain matches. So modes like this exist to sell packs. And while I've been known to rip a pack or 2 in my day, they're not getting me with that. Not happening. Okay, maybe just 1 pack. Thankfully, the live events only have 1 trophy. Compete in and win 10 live events in My Faction. And after winning 10 matches, the trophy didn't pop up. Sick. This is when I was stricken with deja vu and reminded that this same exact trophy was broken in WWE 2K23 as well. That's sick. That's awesome. But luckily, 17 live events later, we unlock Never Felt More Alive. Now that brings us to our last My Faction trophy, Faction Wars Champion. I don't think I have the proper vocabulary to elaborate how much I vehemently, genuinely, and expeditiously did not enjoy getting this trophy. Faction Wars is much more of a grind in this game compared to 2K23. Once you start a new Faction War run, you're put through a series of branching events leading up to a boss, right? The events could be matches or power-ups or currency, but every boss is a 4v4 match against a special set of superstars, right? And for this trophy, we need to beat 30 of those bosses, which means 30 pages of branching events, 30 4v4 matches. Maybe it's 4 Undertakers. Maybe it's 4 Rey Mysterios. Maybe it's the Bloodline. Maybe it's your grandmama slapping some sense into your dumb ass for doing 30 of these. Okay, give me the trophy. Thank you. All right, with My Faction out of the way, mostly, it's time to conquer My Rise. So My Rise is the main single-player story mode, and in 2K24, it's once again divided into a men's story called Undisputed and a women's story called Unleashed. My Rise actually has the highest trophy count of all the modes in the game with 16, and our first one, Sign on the Dotted Line, unlocks when our main character, who for legal reasons bears no resemblance at all to any living human being in the world, signs with Monday Night Raw. Along the way, we're introduced to the player's friend Psycho Sally, who has an entire optional side quest of her own that tests the bonds of friendship, or I don't really remember. Completing all 4 Psycho Sally side missions, though, rewards us with a real psycho, which is what you need to be if you want to do these trophy hunts. The captain, that's what they call her, sets out to show the world that she's ready for the big leagues and drops a scathing promo live on Raw, earning us the Gripe Bomb trophy. And she continues to make a name for herself by putting down none other than Rhea Ripley to unlock Bad Times Don't Last, Bad Guys Do. I'll be honest here. From right about this point, the story is kind of all over the place. At one point, we become obsessed by like a little medallion thing. We start sucking people's souls. We got to fight like a thick alien looking bit. Like it gets out of hand really fast. And then we start in an indie film with Dave Bautista. That part was actually a W, though, because it gave us the A-lister trophy for getting cast in a major motion picture with Batista. Like, that's just pretty sweet. But after ruining all of her friendships thanks to her demonic possession, by the way, this is a wrestling game, guys, the captain finally comes toe-to-toe with our future ex-wife, the Manifestation, and defeating her unlocks Manifest Destiny. Can we manifest a better woman story? Cause after a brief stint as a general manager that made 0 sense whatsoever, the captain challenges Bianca Belair to a Women's World Championship Best of 3 series. And achieving your lifelong dream of winning the title gives us It's a Women's World Championship. Finally, as the women's story comes to a close, it's us versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania for the women's title. And winning that match completes the Unleashed story and rewards us with the beginning of the future. So with the women's story finished, it's time for the men's My Rise adventure known as Undisputed, featuring the Dark Horse, Peter Griffin. Right from the jump, Peter earns a title shot at SummerSlam in our very first segment, and he actually wins it. Unbelievable. And that gives us our first trophy, Universal Success. Now, General Manager The Miz does not like the fact that Peter has all the attention, and he's trying to make our lives a living hell, even hiring Kane to come beat my ass. Dominic Mysterio offers to help us with the Kane problem, and we're given the choice of allowing him to assist us or asking Lita for help. Lita. Normally, this is a no-brainer. However, we've come to our first fork in the road trophy-wise. You see, each option leads to its own trophy, so doing one will lock you out of the other one. Fortunately, a second playthrough and hours of frustration can be completely avoided with a little cloud save cheese. So we save, help Lita, earn the Team Extreme trophy, and then reload the save, this time choosing Dom over Lita, which is a thing no human being would ever do in their lives ever. And that unlocks getting dirty with Dom. Like I always say, nothing wrong with a little cheese. I don't say that, but I'm saying it now. Oh, hey, Roman Reigns finally shows up to work via satellite and tells us we're just keeping his belt warm while he films Fast 17 or something. And before we know it, it's SummerSlam time once again as we defend our WWE title in the main event, this time in a Falls Count Anywhere match. But unfortunately, after all this time, Miz is still on my ass. Just a generational hater. And this leads to our next trophy as we come to another fork in the road. The first choice actually has us teaming with The Miz, which unlocks an Awesome Decision trophy. That sounds terrible. And then a little bit of boop, save cheese lets us rewind time just a bit and choose NXT to grab a trip to Orlando. Looks like Peter's heading down south. Our NXT run is capped off by winning the NXT Championship, turning Peter Griffin into a dual champion. Oh shit, that's crazy. Oh wait, then they stripped me of it for no reason. Okay. The Miz saga continues as he introduces multiversal champion Logan Paul. I don't know what we're doing here. I just want my trophies, man. Then somehow Baron Blade returned, and so did B-Hole Cole. And Peter Griffin debuted in BCW. What a throwback to the old 2Ks here. Wow, this is a nightmare. Peter then dresses as Logan Paul with Finn Balor as his Miz. This was... okay, that was pretty funny. And all this leads to an undisputed championship match at WrestleMania between Peter Griffin and Logan Paul. And Peter Griffin gets the win in the main event of WrestleMania. Shortly after that, Peter and his frenemy Cody Rhodes win the WWE Tag Team titles. They're just throwing shit at you at this point. Things, however, quickly go south as they tend to do. And at the Royal Rumble, it's Peter Griffin versus Cody Rhodes, champion versus champion, title for title. And after beating Cody, Peter is crowned the undisputed champion of WWE. This man's been on top of the company since day one, and that finally unlocks a new trophy, the Gold Standard. But who returns to ruin Peter's night? None other than the former champion Roman Reigns, who tells him he's got to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the undisputed title. That's a whoopsie. Brock and the Bloodline make Peter's life a living hell with vicious and heinous attacks, but through it all, Peter Two Belts makes his way to WrestleMania and defeats Brock Lesnar in the main event, only for Roman Reigns to appear once again, leading to night 2 of WrestleMania, Peter Griffin versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed championship, for all the marbles and hopefully for some godforsaken trophies. In the most important match of Peter's career, he defeats the Tribal Chief and retains his undisputed title, breaking Roman's record of consecutive days as champion. Peter Griffin might be the greatest WWE superstar of all time, and I'm not even joking. The fireworks go off, the story comes to a close. What a final shot. And this unlocks Disputed No More and Undeniable for completing the men's My Rise and completing both My Rises. This brings us to our last set of mode-specific trophies with My GM. I went an entire year without ever touching this mode. Literally did not play it one time before this. And honestly, I kind of like My GM, so I don't know. Anyways, My GM puts you in the shoes of a WWE general manager where you draft a roster, book shows, you gotta keep your workers happy, and earn as much money and as many fans as possible. In 2K24, My GM actually added a new leveling system, and each superstar can have a max level of 25. So I sent Big E over to training until he reached max level 25, unlocking the Zero to Hero trophy. You'll always be a hero to me. But your superstars aren't the only things that need leveling up. Your show logistics, like your venue, road crew, special effects, etc., all impact just how profitable your show's gonna be. But as with all things in life, you gotta spend money to make money. So after spending $500,000 on a level 7 road crew, this is why I will never be a booker, we boost our new Immortal crew and unlock Logistic Liaison. Now, another feature that debuted in 2K24 is the ability to make trades. You can offer up money or superstars or a combination of both, and the other brand can accept or decline the trade. Making 25 successful trades is going to give us the trophy Trade Secrets, and I just had to offer them $10 in exchange for $1 25 times. I mean, who's going to say no to that? Immortal Combat required us to book a fatal 4-way title match using only Immortal Talent, which are like the highest ranked, highest level superstars. After dropping a ton of cash on some WWE legends, we booked the match and got the trophy. And it was now time for our final My GM trophy, Extreme Rules. This trophy sucked ass. In order to unlock it, you need to play as the ECW brand, set the difficulty to Extreme, and enter the Hall of Fame in first place. That doesn't sound too bad, right? No. Entering the Hall of Fame requires you to unlock 10 Hall of Fame trophies, and at average, you get maybe 2 Hall of Fame trophies per season. So it took more than 5 full GM mode seasons to collect the Hall of Fame trophies and get into the Hall of Fame. I can't wait to probably have to get this exact same trophy in 2K25. ECW reigns supreme, and Paul can finally pay off some debts. So with all the major modes out of the way, it's time to grab all the leftover miscellaneous trophies, including one that I accidentally got when I wasn't even recording. Whoops. Under construction. Up next is Where is that referee? And to get this trophy, you need to play as a special guest referee and screw somebody out of a victory with a fast 3 count. This was easy for me because I do this all the time. Over to the creation suite for 2 very quick trophies. Creating a sign and equipping it to any superstar unlocks its assigned, with sign, of course, capitalized in the trophy name. And creating a referee outfit for any superstar unlocks Can't Call What You Can't See. Why is it named? I don't really, what does that one mean? What's that mean? Gold Medal Sprinter requires us to run through a 30-person gauntlet match on Legend difficulty, which is exactly what it sounds like. You start at number 1 and must beat 29 other superstars in a row without losing on Legend difficulty. Man, this was a very hard trophy to obtain. Very, very hard. It really tested the limits of my gaming capabilities. But fortunately, with a little blood, sweat, and a little bit of cheese, we persevered. 4 is one of the easiest trophies in the game. To unlock, all you got to do is chuck a weapon at your opponent, which, as you can imagine, is one of the more enjoyable things to do in this game. Our next trophy, Red Light, Green Light, stop an opponent via freeze and follow up with a successful attack. So freeze is a payback that you can equip before starting a match, and it basically freezes your opponent in their tracks, hence the name, and gives you the upper hand. Another super easy trophy, and we're in the home stretch now, folks. The next trophy, Closed Casket, has been earned by less than 1% of people, and it requires you to defeat The Undertaker in a casket match on Legend difficulty. I was surprised to see this have like less than 1% unlocked because it's definitely not the hardest match in the world to win. People that have played 2K14 will tell you that this is a walk in the park compared to Defeat the Streak. That shit was ridiculous. Trades No Longer Accepted was next, where you need to win the Trading Blows minigame by landing the meter in the little gold zone. Another easy one. This is nothing to me. We do this in our sleep, right, chat? Back to another Legend difficulty challenge where we have to play as LA Knight, yeah, and defeat Finn Balor in one-on-one action to unlock Rise of the Megastar, another trophy that's been obtained by less than 1% of players. I'm gonna need y'all to lock in. Next up was True Resilience, which requires you to win a one-on-one match on Legend difficulty after kicking out of a super finisher. Now, this trophy might actually be broken because, well, all right, so look, we'll probably kick out. Never mind. Let's get this one, right? Whoop! 2,803 days. Pro 17, no paybacks. Sick. Oh! Oh yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. Oh wait, what's True Resilience? Oh! So I was trying to get the trophy 2,803 days, which is beat Roman Reigns as Bruno Sammartino on Legend difficulty. In the match, I happened to hit a super finisher before I got the win. And even though no super finisher was hit on me, True Resilience unlocked anyway, along with Super Indeed and 2,803 days. So like I got it without getting it, and I got 2 other trophies. I'll take it. Easy peasy. Why don't you give me a challenge? How about fairly officiate a special referee match without being ejected? Okay, now that one might be tough. Against my better judgment, I call the match right down the middle and unlock the trophy down the middle. But every good ref knows that sometimes you just gotta screw somebody, and calling for the end of the match before a superstar actually taps out rewards us with not another Montreal. And it's not, by the way, like, let's not be dramatic. That leaves us with only 3 trophies left until the platinum. I can taste it with my lips. No visiting hours requires us to win an ambulance match without losing the match ending minigame. Now this was somewhat challenging because the CPU just loves to break out at the last second, but nevertheless, we get the job done. That leads us to our final task, win a match after throwing a fireball. This one you gotta be careful of, because if the ref catches you throwing fire, you get disqualified, which is not ideal. But after blinding and 3rd degree burning my opponent with the ref's back turned, we unlock the flamethrower trophy, and we're done, right? Oh, I wish. I mean, we did everything we needed to do. Completed every challenge. But why don't I have a platinum yet? Oh, right, because we still need to wait for the My Faction ranked season to end. I didn't sleep for a week straight. I stared at the clock day after day, night after night. The seconds felt like hours, the hours felt like months. But finally, after all the ups and downs, the twists and turns, the clock strikes 0, and we unlock Rise through the ranks, which means platinum trophy unlocked. All trophies earned in WWE 2K24. Let's go. It was absolutely a grind. Definitely not the hardest platinum to obtain by any means, but the job is done and the champ is here. So I guess that can only mean one thing. Time to start all over again. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.